Yo, Kelvin here. So, when you were in college, you decided to have some fun and hook up with a guy. 5 years later, your sister married that same person you hook up with while you were in college. So, did you tell the sister and ruin the marriage and the engagement, or should you keep quiet, right? So, this is the story of how she told her sister about the hookup, and it kind of everyone is blaming her that she kind of basically just ruined the engagement, right? So let me provide you with some context. So she is a 19-year-old female come from a super religious family where everyone marries fast through matchmakers. I am the black sheep because I left religion and started dating casually. Casually meaning that she went to Tinder, Bumble, hook up with different guys, right? And have the time of her life. Didn't really care about the religion. And her sister her name is Mary, and she's 25-year-old female, is the family favorite. Beautiful, smart, outgoing, but she struggled to find a husband. After a string of failed matches, she finally got engaged in last month to Christopher, a 30-year-old male. Everyone was relieved because she'd been trying for so long. I was happy for her until I met the fiance. Christopher and I hooked up last year. Last year. Oh my goodness. For context, the age gap between us isn't the issue. So please don't bring it up. So last Christopher was 30 and she was 19, so 11 years of age gap. Okay. We met at a party, right? All right. The author is really young and she met at a party, okay? And despite being religious, he is divorced and seemed concerned about staying pure. We hooked up 5 times. 5 times. He was my first evident kiss, hookup, all of it. After the fifth time, he said he was falling for me, but I wasn't looking for anything serious. So I ended things before it got too complicated, especially because I knew he wanted to eventually get remarried, and I was not the girl for that. So she thought like, okay, I will hook up with that guy for 5 times. I think I had enough. Let me just end things. I don't want any attachment, string attachment. I just want to leave. We haven't seen each other since until Mary brought him home as her fiance. The world is crashing down. The second we locked eyes, I knew we were both thinking, oh shit. Later that night, Christopher pulled me aside, begging me not to tell Mary. He said it meant nothing, it was just in the past, and telling her would only ruin her happiness. He texted and called me for a week saying how much Mary had been through and how I'd destroy her if I told her. I kept my mouth shut at first. I didn't want to hurt her, but the guilt was eating me alive, like I was watching her walk into a disaster. I felt like she deserved to know, so I told her. Uh-oh. At first, Mary didn't believe me. She said I was trying to sabotage her happiness because I couldn't stand being single. I had to show her the texts and photos to prove it. When she finally accepted the truth, she lost it. She confronted Christopher and he denied everything until she saw the evidence in his face. Mary called off the engagement. That is when things really hit the fan. My parents and some relative told me I should have kept quiet. They say I ruined Mary one side of happiness and called me selfish for interfering. Now I am not even invited to the wedding. Yep, they got back together, but I'll get to that. So they did manage to get back together, which is kind of interesting. Like how they what made them decide to get back together. Maybe it's the chemistry that like Christopher had a past, but he changed as a complete different person. Let's keep reading the story. It gets worse. While Mary and Christopher were dating, he randomly called me saying he wanted to reconnect. He was rather vague, but it was obviously a booty call. I don't know he was dating at the time, and definitely didn't know he was dating my sister. I let him down firmly and didn't engage because I had no interest. After telling Mary about a hookup, I mentioned this call because I thought she would know he wasn't as faithful while they were dating as she thought he was, but that backfired spectacularly. Wait a minute, why did that backfire? Like, obviously, Christopher was not faithful and loyal to Mary, right? He called her to do like a booty call hookup, but she was like more. She has some ethical issues where she has some courage to just, hey, it's not a good time to hook up now, right? It's good on her part. Mary accused me of making out lies to tear them apart. Christopher denied everything and said I was obsessed with him. Mary sided with him and called me, quote, a desperate home-wrecking whore. Since I deleted my call history, I had no proof. It became a he said, she said situation, and Mary believed him. Yeah, that's yeah, it's a tough situation in this part because he said, she said you can't really provide any proof unless like you have like documents or screenshot of the text and stuff. Even with screenshots, you can ask AI to create these images. It's easy to create, but it is really really hard to believe when you just use words like, oh, I remember this back then when he called me that he want to hook up. Nobody gonna believe you. It's hard to believe, but when you have text messages or some kind of video, you'll make your case a lot stronger. So it's very hard to like convince someone. Now that Mary and Christopher are back together and they are getting married, she showed up at my apartment a few weeks ago after the fight, crying. Apparently, Christopher convinced her that what happened between us was just a meaningless mistake and that it made him realize how much he wanted to be with her. What? I tried to explain that he had told me he was falling for me, not to make things seem like he still liked me, just to show her he is lying to her about what he felt for me. But he, but she just got angrier and called me a jealous liar and some other petty names I won't repeat before storming out. Alright. Now I'm completely cut off from my family events. My parents said I caused enough damage, and extended family member are calling me a slut both behind my back and to my face. Every attempt I made to explain myself had been shut down. So yeah, they are getting married anyway, and here I am wondering if I just blew up an engagement for nothing. So I just stay quiet. Did I do the right thing, or did I just ruin my relationship with my family for no reason? This is a pretty easy kind of um, situation because Christopher is technically what I call a walking red flag, right? If you believe the author, like everything that Christopher did, right? Which I think, like when I read the story, it sounds pretty true. Like Christopher called her while she was getting married to hook up, right? And he already got divorced on the first time. Something must happen. Like I want to know what made Christopher getting a divorce. Is it like hook up with another girl or talk to another girl and cheating on her? That's why the first marriage ended, right? Because men, they will never change, right? I just think like if you cheat on someone, you probably likely gonna cheat again to another person because you just like that feeling, just like that adrenaline, right? And I just feel like Christopher gonna do the same thing to Mary, and at the end, the family gonna find out real quick that Christopher is not the right guy. He might sound really good and might sound like he's a loving person, but in the detail, he might not be the person that Mary is looking for. But that's just my prediction. What you guys think? Only time will find out who is the right person and who was the wrong for it. And only time will find out if Christopher is really the right person for Mary. If you want to hear more of these stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. And yeah, my name is Calvin, and I see you guys next video.